Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. If you're seriously focused on optimizing your health, you've probably noticed that diet and exercise are usually talked about like they live in totally different universes. Well, today we're going to act as your personal matchmaker. We're going to completely demystify the relationship between nutrition and physical activity, and we'll pair the most effective, evidence-based diets with their absolute perfect exercise machine partners. So get ready to find your fitness match. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our literal menu for today. We'll kick things off with the synergy secret, run through the diet menu, make the perfect match, look at goal-oriented fitness, and then finish up with science and safety.
All right, section 1, the synergy secret.
So the foundational truth of human metabolism is that nutrition determines the quality, quantity, and the timing of the energy entering your body. Physical activity, on the other hand, is what influences how you expend that energy, how you preserve muscle, and how you maintain metabolic flexibility. Which brings up a question we hear all the time. Can you lose weight with diet alone? Scientifically speaking, yes. A sustained calorie deficit is absolutely going to produce weight loss on the scale. But here is the catch, and it's a big one. Ignoring physical activity while heavily restricting your calories heavily risks muscle loss, and it dramatically diminishes your long-term metabolic benefits. So the crucial point is understanding the difference between weight loss and fat loss. Weight loss is literally just a reduction of your total body mass. That means fat, sure, but also water and your precious muscle. Fat loss, however, prioritizes reducing adipose tissue while keeping that lean muscle intact. Diet alone might cause that number on the scale to drop, but synergistic exercise, that is what actually drives true fat loss and real functional fitness. Moving right along to section 2, the diet menu. First up is the Mediterranean diet. Now, this isn't some rigid, miserable list of rules. It's a flexible pattern. It heavily emphasizes plant foods, healthy fats like extra virgin olive oil, and a moderate amount of fish. Because it provides this steady flow of complex carbohydrates, it's highly sustainable for cardiovascular health. But keep in mind, it isn't inherently calorie restricted, so if you're aiming for weight loss, you still need to be aware of your portions. Next on the menu is the low-carbohydrate diet. This reduces your daily carbs down to roughly 50 to 130 grams, swapping those calories out for protein and fat. Now, a really interesting impact of this diet is what it does to your training. While it's great for improving satiety and usually leads to some early water weight loss, the resulting glycogen depletion can temporarily make high-intensity exercise feel much, much harder during that initial adaptation phase. It can feel like hitting a wall. Our third strategy is intermittent fasting. This one focuses entirely on when you eat rather than exactly what you eat, typically using methods like 16 hours of fasting followed by an 8-hour eating window. It's awesome because it simplifies meal planning and naturally reduces calories for a lot of people. But, and there's a massive caveat here, food quality during your eating window remains absolutely critical. You can't just compress a terrible diet into 8 hours and expect great results. Moving to the high-protein diet. Here, we're targeting about 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Elevated protein is literally the ultimate building block for preserving lean mass when you're in an energy deficit. Plus, it keeps you feeling full. But it has to remain balanced. If you're neglecting fiber-rich vegetables and healthy fats, this whole approach becomes counterproductive pretty fast. Finally, we've got the calorie-controlled balanced diet. This is a highly flexible approach that prioritizes overall energy balance and nutrient-dense whole foods. The key takeaway here is avoiding extremes. Actually, extreme calorie restriction is straight up harmful. It leads to fatigue and messes with your hormones. This diet focuses instead on a modest, totally sustainable deficit combined with daily movement. All right, section 3, the perfect match. Time to play matchmaker. And this brilliantly illustrates our matchmaking matrix. Just look at how high-protein diets naturally pair up perfectly with cable machines and leg presses for muscle growth. On the flip side, the Mediterranean diet, with its steady stream of complex carbohydrate energy, totally thrives with steady-state treadmill or rowing work. Basically, you match the fuel to the machine and you optimize the result. Let's look a little closer at the cardiovascular staples, the treadmill, the elliptical, and the stationary bike. These machines perfectly complement the Mediterranean, fasting, and calorie-controlled diets. Why? Because they offer highly adjustable aerobic conditioning that can easily scale up or down depending on what your energy levels are like that particular day. But hey, safety first, right? On the treadmill, maintain a nice upright posture, and please, no death grips on the handrails. Honestly, leaning heavily on the machine actually reduces your overall calorie burn. For the elliptical, focus on a controlled cadence and make sure you aren't hyperextending your knees. And on the stationary bike, you want to ensure a 25 to 35 degree knee bend at the very bottom of your pedal stroke to really protect those joints. Switching gears to resistance and strength. Cable machines, the leg press, and the chest press are basically the ideal romantic partners for low carbohydrate and high protein diets. These machines provide the precise mechanical tension necessary to signal your body to either preserve or build muscle even while you drop body fat. When you're using these, technique is everything. On a cable machine, make sure to control that lowering phase while keeping your core rock solid. On the leg press, never ever fully lock out your knees under a heavy load, and keep your lower back pressed completely flat against the pad. For the chest press, focus on maintaining scapular stability. And remember, machines like the Smith machine or lat pull-downs also require very controlled ranges of motion to prevent injury. That brings us to Section 4, Goal-Oriented Fitness. Let's move to and see how this builds your personalized plan. If you just want general weight loss, a calorie-controlled diet with daily walking works wonders. But if fat loss or muscle preservation is your real goal, prioritizing protein alongside progressive resistance training is absolutely non-negotiable. And for cardiovascular health, the Mediterranean diet paired with aerobic machines is pretty much the gold standard. Finally, Section 5, Science, Safety, and Next Steps. We have some true non-negotiables to go over. Hydrate, eat enough protein, and please, get some sleep. Inadequate sleep is a total disaster for progress. It literally disrupts your hunger hormones and slows down your body's ability to recover. Also, you've got to increase your exercise volume gradually. Sudden, massive jumps in your training load don't get you to your goal any faster. They just lead straight to overuse injuries. Also, be on the lookout for these common mistakes. Don't expect diet alone to work miracles. And definitely don't try to over-exercise just to compensate for a bad diet. Oh, and choosing a machine simply because the digital display says it burns more calories completely overlooks your true goal, which should be consistency and a progressive challenge. Avoid extreme, unsupervised protocols at all costs. The consensus from organizations like the World Health Organization is super clear on this. Adherence is a stronger predictor of successful weight management than the theoretical superiority of any single diet. In other words, sustainable lifestyle patterns that you can actually maintain in real life will always outperform short-term, extreme crash programs. So what does this all mean? What's the final verdict? Consistency over perfection. The absolute best diet and machine pairing isn't necessarily the one with the most aggressive metabolic math behind it. It's simply the one you genuinely enjoy, the one that fits your life, and the one you can actually stick with consistently for months and years to come. The daily choices you make right now are the literal building blocks that will craft your long-term health and vitality. So ask yourself, what will your perfect match be today? Figure it out, start moving, and stay consistent. For more, visit our website, Fair Solution.